Hi, this is Dr. Tony Tipton, Superintendent at Lumberton ISD, and welcome to Episode 2 of Learn.Lead.Repeat, a video podcast production of Lumberton ISD. And Dr. G, welcome back to Episode 2. We made Episode 1 and we survived, and
we sure did.
We had a lot of great feedback online. We also got some constructive feedback, as I like to call it, and we're making some changes to hopefully make our podcast better, but maybe the most exciting part for me is having our students behind the cameras again, working these cameras and
Absolutely.
Working our sound, and really including our students in the things that we do and the learning that we do in the district.
Oh, absolutely. It's nice to be back at the high school campus here in our studio, and I'm excited about our new topic today. We're going to talk about integrity.
Absolutely.
And so when I think about integrity, Dr. Tipton, I think about the phrase has been done to death, but it keeps repeating or replaying in my head. You know, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is watching you. And when I think about it, I keep going to the theory. It's called a shopping cart theory. I don't know if you have heard about it. But I heard about it years ago, and it popped up recently on Twitter that I saw. And the theory proposes that a person's moral character can be determined by whether or not they choose to return the shopping cart after they are done unloading their merchandise.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I've also seen it on social media. It seems to be a little bit of a phenomenon. And I'm always fascinated by watching it. And I'll tell you a funny little story, and this is true, even though this wasn't really rehearsed, but sometimes my wife and I, when we go shopping and we're leaving, we will sit in the car as we're backing out, and we'll see someone unloading their groceries, and we will actually take a little bet on whether this person's going to take the shopping cart back and put it in the correct spot. So I'd like to hear more about that.
Well, you know, really, returning a shopping cart where it belongs, it's not the law. You're not going to get fined. No one's going to slap you on your wrist if you don't do it. It's just the right thing to do. So by watching people, we can determine whether or not or what kind of personal character traits the person possesses. Other examples that I can think of, for example, if you're at the department store, right, and you're going through racks of clothes, and by accident the sweater or shirt falls off on the floor, do you pick it up or do you just leave it lying there? You know, there's no repercussions for you if you don't pick it up. Or another example, you're in public restroom. You know, you dry your hands with a paper towel, and I've missed it a couple of times, you know, trying to make it into the trash can, playing a little basketball. And, you know, so what do? Do you pick it up or do you just leave it there? No one is there to watch you do it. So, so these little actions are the actions that determine your moral character and see where you stand.
Yeah, I really like that. It reminds me of one of the books that we're reading in one of our current leadership studies is Urban Meyer, Above the Line. And Coach Meyer says, he really says you have above the line behavior or you have below the line behavior, but it's funny, he never talks about on the line behavior. So it's either above or below. And above being things that you do on purpose, that you do intentional, that you do with thought, and that you know are morally correct. And then below the line behavior, he kind of talks about it being something that's instinctual or that's something on autopilot. What I like to do is I like to think of integrity as one of my core values, and it certainly is, but as a core value, it's something that you really have to be sure that you are intentional about. And that's why I love the above the line reference so much in Coach Meyer's work.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, when I think about integrity and its repercussions for education, the repercussions or implications are huge because you know, when you, for example, if you're a pilot and you make a mistake, you don't possess a lot of integrity. You make a mistake, and guess what? All of a sudden, you crash the plane. Or you're a doctor, and if you don't have integrity and you don't do your work correctly, your patient can get sick or even die. Well, in education, if we don't put all the effort into preparing a lesson plan or planning a unit, well, we will not have red lights flashing around the room saying, oh, this lesson plan is not up to par, or this unit is not well prepared. But these little actions add up over time, and that will define whether or not students are successful. What is the reputation of the school?
Well, yeah, I love that, and each time we have a podcast, Dr. G, we have a quote of the episode, and so today's quote of the episode is an Urban Meyer quote, and Urban Meyer says, "You have to want to be a great leader. It takes effort, just like being a great athlete." And when I think about putting effort into this, I think about the role of leaders. It's a hard job. Leadership is not easy. Nobody ever said it was going to be. We have to make really hard decisions sometimes, and as much as a leader, as much as you want to try to do things that make people happy, you have to know that there's some times as a leader you're going to have to make hard decisions. But here's where the above the line behavior comes in. If you don't train yourself, just like an athlete trains to be a great athlete, if you don't train your core values, you don't train your heart, and you don't train your soul with integrity, sometimes when those hard decisions have to be made, it's very easy to take the low road. Because many times in leadership, doing the thing that's right is a little bit harder than doing the thing that might not be quite right or just below the line. Right. So I kind of think of it like this. Small little slip-ups with your integrity can cause big problems down the road, because today's exception becomes tomorrow's expectation. So if we make exceptions with our integrity here, then it's the expectation that you're going to make that exception again tomorrow and the next and the next and the next, and that's what erodes our integrity.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the athletic reference. And just like with sports, with your leadership and your even integrity, you have to practice every day. You have to be purposeful, and you have to preload all those skills, because in the heat of the moment, the decision that you make is you stoop down to the level of your training. So if you don't train yourself to make those decisions with integrity, then in the heat of the moment, you might not make the right decision.
Yeah, I'll tell you, integrity is just such an important part of what we do, and I'm really glad we chose to do this episode on integrity. And we're going to wrap it up by saying thank you for joining us for episode 2. I really want to encourage you, if you've not read Above the Line by Urban Meyer, it's a fantastic leadership book, and I really do say, operate above the line, have integrity, train the part of yourself that's going to go on autopilot above the line. Don't go on autopilot below the line. Train the part of your core values, your heart and your soul that's going to make the right decision every time you're faced with something hard. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again for episode 3.